Hello and welcome to the Weekend Investing Daily Byte of 2nd of September. So a new month is starting. We had a decent August and now September is going to bring us a new wave of returns, hopefully. But that's exactly the topic today, that are bears going to take charge in September? What has been the historical performance in terms of a seasonality? How have the last 20, 30 Septembers done? Is there a seasonality factor here? We'll take a data back look at uh, come September. So let's get on with what happened on the first day of September. But first, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far. Markets, new day, new high, another new high, 25,333 became the new all-time high today and closed at 25,278. But the market is very iffy. It just is crawling upwards. There's no strong move upwards. And while I'm not going to complain about market going upwards, it almost seems as if, there is tiredness and lethargy, and it's just because more funds are coming into the market, and hence fund managers are having to deploy those funds, and hence stocks are having to go up. I mean, otherwise there was no intent to go up. So that is the kind of a undercurrent feeling that one is getting. Um, but of course, there is no complaints if markets are going up. Broader markets, Nifty Junior absolutely flat, although made a new all-time high, just like Nifty. Mid caps almost, I would say, did open at a new all-time high, closed minus 0.29%, so still not able to clear the previous high with any force. Small caps also down 0.07%, just about hanging there at the top. So uh, usually, when stocks are unable to go higher than what they have achieved, a sudden move upwards usually is not possible. That is the general sort of thing you'll see. It'll spend some time consolidating, maybe some time consolidation is happening, and then some trigger may lead it up. So without a trigger, I doubt this market can really go up in the short term. But triggers can always be around there. Triggers may be the rate cut that is expected middle of the month, so a few days to go for that. Um, so I think next week probably is going to be the run up to the rate cut, if at all. And then let's see whether it's a sell on news, or markets really get excited about it. Nifty Bank up from yesterday by 0.17%, but again, just a very lethargic up move. Within the momentum trends, pretty even, slightly biased towards the decline. So 218 versus 281 on the CNX 500. Or I would say the shorters are having slightly upper hand. FIIs in the last two sessions did quite well, but that was also because of the MSCI inflows. So many stocks have got fresh inflows due to the MSCI rejig of the index weights, and correspondingly DIIs had a nice sell on 30th. Let's see where today's numbers are. Uh, in the heat map, you had Bajaj Finance again doing very well. This is in anticipation of Bajaj home loan company issue that is coming through. So I suppose they are holding some stake, and that is why the excitement is there. Axis Bank also up, Indus Bank, SBI Life, all this entire segment was up. SBI was also up 0.8%. HDFC Bank, as usual, down and sluggish 0.6%. HCL Tech doing very well at plus 3%. Other IT stocks did not do well, so HCL Tech really standing out. Bajaj Auto again up 2%. You had Hero Motors doing very well at 2%. ITC almost 1.6%. These were some of the top real gainers today, along with Ultra Semco. Adani stocks in limelight today. Adani Green and Adani Power both up 6%. Adani and Sol 2.6%. So it seems that Adani is getting its act together again for some acquisitions that were there in the news. Geo Finance doing very well at plus 7%. Bajaj holding up 0.6 plus 6%. ICICI General Insurance also up 2% along with the SBI Life. Uh, Notable losers were Zomato, um, Torrent Pharma, ABB, Siemens, Gale, and Vedanta. Sectoral trends, nothing much to really talk about, but pharma and metals lost some steam today. Metals 1% down along with pharma, and FMCG stocks gained 0.8%. But other than that, I really don't think there was anything material in any move upwards. PSU banks gained some ground today. So on a weekly basis now they are back and they are reducing their losses for the last 1 month. In the last 1 month, IT and pharma are the only two sort of sectors that have done 5% or more. FMCG stocks, ITC, Varun Beverages, Britannia, United Spirits, Radico, these were the stocks running up. FMCG stocks are near their all-time highs, which is always a good sign. And in terms of stocks, Spotlight, you had Gujarat Gas do very well, up 12%. And Gujarat Gas holdings, I think, are in GSPC also, so that stock also was doing well. On a very long-term basis, Gujarat Gas has come out of this consolidation and is likely to challenge its previous high. So now let's come back to our discussion, bears to take charge in September or not. That is the question. Uh, just to make things very clear, I don't know the answer. But let's go look at the data and try to derive some inference if we can. So since the last 33 years, this has been the distribution of September returns. Now, there have been blocks of gaining years and sporadic down years. One really bad year in September 2001 at minus 13%, another one in 2008 at minus 10%, another one in September 2000 at nearly minus 9%, and a couple of 6% down periods also. But other than that, largely uh, flat or up. Average returns is 1.58%. Uh, so we really can't really make out if there's any seasonality if we look at the last 34-year data, but the probability of a positive month is certainly much higher than that of a negative month. If that gives us any solace, that we are likely that this month is going to be in positive. In the last 10 years, however, the situation has been different versus 34 years of data. Average September returns have been slightly negative. Worst case scenario has been minus 6%. Best scenario has been plus 4%. 40% is the positive month, 60% is the negative month. So you can really say there's a good chance that this may be a higher probability of slightly negative month that is coming up. If we see 1 year, 3 year, and 5 years annualized returns from September historically, then uh, you can see that significant positive CAGR is achievable if you start here. If you've not started so far, even if you start here, you should be able to get decent CAGR going over 3 to 5 years. But then there are years when even from the current period or 3 year CAGR could be minus 12%. That is a worst case scenario actually in the last so many years. In the 1 year period, as I already mentioned, 28%, 21% could have been the sort of look forward 1 year returns from September. So I'm just laying down the data so that one can uh, assess what has happened in the past. Why September and October? I would say both are sort of leading to festive season, so there is uh, some sort of build up towards that season where the real results come out post the festivities. And many of the times I've seen that September and October especially, um, global events, maybe there is not so many, but at least the GFC crisis and in the dot-com crisis also, September, October were not such great months. Somehow these months are slow. And then if you compare them with November, December, January, which are much better months on a seasonality basis, that is somehow how the history has played out. FIIs have been positive in September for the last in the last 10 years on 4 occasions. Right now, most months are negative for FIIs. Domestic institutions, of course, have been on the positive side for most of the period. So Nifty's performance in September over the last 10 years reveals trends which are skewed in favor of the bears slightly. However, overall cues are quite decent. At the start of the month, we were at a new high at the start of September, August also, and we are now at a new high at the start of September also. How this month will go around is a bit of a guess. Uh, the long-term performance, as I mentioned, 3 to 5 years have been healthy. DIIs have played in stabilizing markets, net contributors in the last 9 consecutive Septembers. September 23 had maximum outflows, yet market was supported by DIIs. Nifty went up 2% there. So the flow of funds don't seem to be stopping. The SIPs are going on very well. The fact that we have a presidential election in the US just a couple of months away, I think should play a good role in terms of keeping markets hoping for a good outcome. I'm not sure what is a good outcome, but the markets are usually very hopeful unless there is a stark difference between the polls that are running right now. And also this mid of the month interest rate cut, which a lot of folks are saying could be a 0.5% cut in the US, can somewhat shift flows towards emerging markets, towards precious metals from developed markets as their interest rates come down and as institutional money starts to take more risk on that capital. So that kind of a change of stance is possible. But as I would think that something like August, where we started very strong in the month, but then there was a blip on the way and then it recovered back. That is something that, in my speculation, it may happen at some point during the month. Maybe that interest rate cut is something that, if markets rally into that move, most likely there'll be a sell-off after the interest rate cut. And if markets are dull till then, maybe there'll be a sort of a bump up post the interest rate cut. But usually, what is also seen is that few quarters after the first cut is when the markets could become weaker. The reason there is that interest rates are getting cut because economy is getting weaker. That is the whole reason why interest rates will be cut. And usually the economy getting weaker trend does not end in like one quarter. It goes on for significant period of time, and the impact of the interest rate cut takes several quarters, if not years, for it to go and impact the economy. So usually 1 or 2 quarters down after the first cut, there is deeper crisis in the economy, and then cuts have to be done faster and faster. And at that time, market starts to panic a bit. But uh, how this plays this time, of course, is anybody's guess. Maybe they'll cut interest rates and inflation starts to go up, and then they'll not be able to cut again. That is also a possibility. So anyway, everything is sort of a open book. Really can't predict or forecast what happens, but this is sort of a laying out of how it has been in the past. You can share your views, how you think September will play out, and we'll see how it does. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.